Hello, hello, hello. We are live. Welcome to the channel. I'm Kyle at A0Z. Got Sebastian over here. Hello, Sebastian. Hello, how are you?
Hello, Sebastian. Hello, how are you?
And also a new face to the stream. We got Steve, KJ5T. Hello, Steve.
Hello, happy to be here.
Steve, everyone knows Sebastian from the channel, also from the Ham2K PoLo application. If you haven't downloaded PoLo, you need, one, you're living under a rock, and two, you need to go over and give Sebastian some love because his logging program is the Shiznit. And we'll put a link in the description below after the stream. Actually, I think it's already in there. But then Steve was my partner in crime this last 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago, for the Missouri QSO party, and we did well. We did well. You had a good time, Steve?
Yeah, great.
It was Steve was my CW operator, and I worked single sideband. We made, geez, I don't know how many QSOs we made. Did we make 900, something like that? I'm not really sure what we made. Anyway, I got a little info for you since I'm running the Missouri QSO party now. I looked at the scores. I think we might have won first at and fixed. But Steve was very gracious on being my partner and my second op, and I constantly was feeding him information on who was online or who was calling CQ and all of the mobiles, trying to keep track of all of the mobiles. And that parlays into our topic tonight. One of the things that irked me about the QSO party was there is an absolute crap ton of things that you have to keep track of during a QSO party. There is mobiles, there's portables, there's rovers, there's special event stations, there's bonus stations, there's people in fixed counties. They have their home station in a county in Missouri, in the, let's say, the Northeast Missouri county, that he's only going to get on for like 20 minutes, and he's the only person in that county that's running in the QSO party. And literally, you have 20 minutes to grab him as a QSO, and then he's gone milking the cows. After that, and it gets very hard to keep track of everything that is going on during a QSO party. So what I was thinking about, and I invited Steve and Sebastian to help me with this, is I've put some things on a slide that I think technology, with all the inputs that we have in today's society, we can build some type of program that brings all of these inputs, brings them together, and helps you keep track of all of the operators during the state QSO party. And what I'd like to do is kind of just brainstorm some of the things that you guys think, and also I think, this piece of technology should do. I'm hopeful that I'm going to make a series out of this, and I'd like to build this. We've gotten to the point where AI is pretty good now, and with my limited Node-RED coding, I think that I could probably build something in Node-RED. Now, is it the best program to build in? Probably not. But if somebody out there would like to help building this in a program that is more modern and can be more flexible, I'm all ears. But I'd like to maybe do this throughout the year, and maybe have something by April of next year for the next Missouri QSO party and be able to test it out. And it won't be for just the Missouri QSO party. It'll be for any QSO party that, you know, you can load all the mobiles in and you can load all of the, you know, all of the things that you want to track in it and be able to select options on what you want to see. And all those things appear and help you during that QSO party. So I have some ideas here, and what we're going to do is we're just going to talk through some of these ideas. And I like to get everyone's opinion. Chat, I'm looking at you guys. People like my lampshade on Kyle's chandelier. You know, whenever your streaming computer blows up and you have to move upstairs and your the SSD is going to cost you $300 to fix, that streaming computer is going to be down for a while because I'm not going to pay $300 for a terabyte SSD. So you're going to see me upstairs for a while. And yes, that is my kitchen table chandelier with the horrible lampshades. So let me share my screen here, guys, and let's see if I can do this without blowing up my computer here. Let's see. Let's do this, and let me add it to the scene. Can you guys see that? Guys, are you on?
Jesus,
Can you hear me?
that's a slide. That's a manifesto. I'm going to have to zoom in to be able to read that.
Let me so what I can do is I can make this let's see.
Yeah, make your window smaller.
Yeah, hang on. Well, hang on. Let me see if I can get to, what is that, F5 full screen? Yeah, I don't think it's going to go. I'm trying to get it where it's... how about that?
That's a bit better.
Okay. Well, I will read these off here. Oh, let me go back. So I put these points together this afternoon in kind of just sitting on the couch, and I had an hour or two. And so like to hear some thoughts about these items from the chat here. Tyler says, have you seen the mobile port tracker used last week in the Flores QSO party? No, I have not. Let me bring this up.
I think I know what he's talking about.
So maybe this type of thing exists already. I don't know. Do you know anything about that tracker?
What he might
Sebastian?
be talking about is the APRS tracker.
Oh,
it's
yes.
mobiletracker.stateqso.com.
Yes, and that is a point of input. We use the APRS tracker for Missouri QSO party, and it was great. It was great.
PoLo can spot you automatically there using the phone GPS.
Yeah. So let me just roll through some of these points, and maybe we can have a discussion about them. You know, one of the things is, you know, state QSO parties have different rules for each state and section. When competing in a state QSO party, there are many mults operators to keep track of while operating during the contest. Like I said, there's a ton of stuff that you have to keep track of during a Missouri QSO or during a state QSO party. It just sometimes it gets a little bit overwhelming. So I'm thinking, you know, we can use technology to help track mult stations listed in number 3 down here and be able to send spots to a contest logging program for easy search and pound. So one of the things that I learned is in N3FJP, or I'm sorry, in N1MM, if you, obviously you don't want to work dupes, but if you have a station that is roaming from from county to county, of course you want to work them over and over and over, right? So N1MM doesn't understand that that rover or that mobile or that portable is in a new county. So therefore it thinks that you've already worked him or that station, right? So it's not going to show that as a new multiplier. Well, I learned that if you put like a slash and their county name or their county abbreviation in the spot, it will show that up on your band map in N1MM, and it will show that as a new spot. So therefore you can say, oh, we don't have that mobile or that portable in that county anymore, and you can go click on that spot, and then your radio will tune to it. Now, you have to do you have to take a look at your multipliers to see if you actually have that county, but it does show that, it doesn't show it as a dupe, which I did not know. Also, I've got here, technology doesn't replace logging. So we're not going to log in this piece of technology. We're going to, N1MM, PoLo, N3FJP, those programs do a good enough job in logging. We're going to leave that to the pros. The one thing that irks me about some of these QSO parties is getting the mobiles. Like, a lot of states allow you to declare what you want to do. Like, if you're a mobile, you can go in there, and in the Missouri QSO party, you're able to click the states that you want to roam to, that you're possibly going to activate on Saturday. And then you go back in and you click the states that you're going to roam to on Sunday. Well, getting that information out of those websites is sometimes tough. And I wish that there was a way that there was a standard format that you could pull that information out, right?
Because each of the websites have their own nice plan activation page where they build these lists and tables and in ways that are probably useful to the person building it, as some people reading it, but it's really hard to use it by software to read it. And
we'll get into some of this, but I wish that there was just like a central location that somebody built that all the QSO parties just used, and you went in and just.
It'll be great to have a QSO party spotting service.
Yeah,
that would have all of this built in. Like you could declare your plans. It could do the GPS tracking. It could tell you when people can report when a mobile station has changed counties.
Right.
And that'll go, but report it in a standard way.
Yes.
The problem right now is that with the packet clusters, like, people will write whatever. People will write, KI2D just crossed into the new county. No, you need to write KI2D/SUL. Put the county they're in, and that's all you need to write. So it's the data is very noisy right now. It's one of the problems we have.
Well, and also, like, if you're going to declare a route, right, and I want to know if I missed you in the first two counties of that route. I want to know that, right? I want to know the order of the counties that you're going to activate, and hopefully you stand by that route. But also, I want to know, then I can use technology to say, okay, if you're going to activate 10 counties on Saturday, and I see that I got you in county number 2, crap, I just missed those other 2 counties. I need to be either, one, watching out for somebody else that is activating those counties, or 2, I just might be screwed.
I mean, I think that you might be overthinking it.
Okay.
You want a tool that tells you when somebody pops up in a county you haven't activated. You have a new mult.
Yes.
So whether you're screwed or not, you don't have the time to think about that. You just roll with the plan. And what actually I found that I would love to have is quite the opposite. Is when is a mobile station about to get to a new county?
Oh, okay.
When or when they just entered, because some of these mobile stations will only spend half an hour driving through a county and then it's over.
Right.
So you have to be on top of them to be able to get those mults.
Let me build a new
Yeah, and I'll just say, right, I think that was the challenge that we had. Well, we did miss a few, right? Is we just didn't get notification in the right way. Either the APRS tracker was wrong. There were certain stations
delayed. Yeah,
weren't using the APRS tracker, and then just like you said, spot information being inaccurate. All of these together cost us some mults, and I think that's the issue that Kyle is trying to address here.
Yeah, good. Good. Yeah, so I captured that in a new slide. Yeah, good idea.
And the other thing that's useful is when the spots show somebody operating from a rare mult, from a rare county, like because you might be calling CQ and running just fine, and you don't want to stop that. But if you see that there's the single mobile that has planned to go in that county that has nobody else operating from it, has just entered the county, it might be enough for you to say, I'm giving my run frequency. I'm going to go try to chase this one mult because it's worth it, at least for 5 minutes, and then I'll come back.
Right.
So having the data that tells the system which counties are rare based on past activity, based on announced plans for this year. If it's a rare county but 10 people are planning on roaming through that county this year, then it's less stressful, at least early on in the contest.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Like St. Charles County for Missouri QSO party, there was 20 people on the air in St. Charles County. We didn't care about that one because I knew that we were going to get that one. But, Davis County, there's 4 people that live in Davis County and there's 1 ham,
Yeah. You got to be on top of that guy.
Yeah. Which counties are rare based on activation plans?
Yeah, and some of the QSO parties publish past year's activity with county by county data, so that you can see which counties are rare. And again, decide which ones to focus on when the spots show somebody there.
Yeah, good point. Okay. Yeah, I captured that. Okay. Yeah, Jody says, so the future is predictive tracking. I almost like that, where I would love to get to a point where, not only does the system also is smart enough to know, let's say somebody didn't declare any of their counties, or they decided that day that they were going to be like, oh, let's participate in the Missouri QSO party. And they came over from Kansas. And they're like, we're just going to drive until our heart's content. And then we're going to find a hotel room. And then we're going to go back through another route back to Kansas on day number 2.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just going to work some people. I would love for it to get to a point where it's tracking that person through those counties, and then it almost gives an AI predictive to say, hey, this person is now now a mobile that you probably want to start tracking, and you want to, you want to pay attention to this mobile, and here is the counties based on the counties that it came from. Here are the counties that it's going to hit in the next like 30 minutes or, whatever the case may be. I understand that that's probably far-fetched, but that would be cool to be like, hey, this is a new rover that we didn't have in our list, and now that rover is going to be in a new county, in 30 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that you have to consider is what kind of operation is the user running. If it's just low power from home, trying to get a sweep, then focusing on multipliers is really key.
Right.
If it's like when I'm the last few years of QSO party activity for me have been, I'm running portable. I'm at a county line, and I just run. I just call CQ until it's over.
Right.
But a few times I've done SO2R where I can start looking at another band for new mults. And that would have been helpful. Or same thing if you're running multi-single or multi-multi, and you have somebody who can go and look for new mults. Telling these operators where to look for the mults is key.
Yeah.
Like how to prioritize their time. Go to this frequency because the I don't know, this mobile station is about to cross the county line.
Right.
It will count it as a new multiplier for you.
Yeah.
That would be the dream. It's tricky because you never know when they're going to decide, okay, we're taking a break. We're stopping at a gas station, fill up the tank, and grab lunch. They all take breaks like that.
Yeah.
In the chat, somebody suggests using something like Boondock Echo, like any kind of like voice recognition. It's tricky because what you want, there's plenty of people already recognizing those stations and logging them, and many of them will spot to the cluster.
Right.
It's just that the cluster spot is noisy.
Yeah.
It's not properly spotted with the county they're using.
Right. And this is where you marry up all of that information to a point where it's useful, because if you don't have all of the information and you only have half of it, some of that half is no good. Yeah.
I mean, so many points for CW skimmer skimmer data is great.
Yeah.
Because that is a more consistent and all the possible values of the county abbreviations. So if you see somebody calling CQ and then 3 letters or 5 letters that happen to match one of the counties in the QSO list, you can bet that that's a good spot.
Right.
In phone, you never know how somebody is calling it.
Right.
They can say, I'm in Sullivan County, I'm in SUL, I'm in Sierra Uniform Lima. Like it's a lot. Again, it's noise.
Yeah.
There's lots of noise in the system that you need to figure out ways of reducing.
Yeah. I also put here number 6 listed are examples. So I did I made a little Node-RED program that took all the spots from a bunch of different skimmers, and I downloaded, somebody wrote me a SED program that literally downloaded all of the SCC database, and then it puts it into a comma separated value, and then it dumps it into a database, and then any spot that comes in, I take that spot, I look it up on the FCC database, and it spits out a state, obviously, because every FCC license has got some type of address associated with it. So I key off of that address. So I'm looking for Nebraska and South Dakota and Alaska and Hawaii. So, if I see a spot pop up and it has a slash, a slash SD, I know that that's South Dakota. So therefore, I'm on top of that because South Dakota is pretty rare, especially.
You're never going to see us. I mean, what you're. I think that you're never going to see some human that worked the guy in South Dakota put them in the cluster as
right
/SD.
Correct.
But you could, in theory, I mean, one thing that this tool could do, and you had it somewhere, is basically be a spotter proxy or spotter server for N1MM and for other tools.
Right. You're taking in all of this information.
Yeah.
You're gathering all of these data points. You're putting it together. You're making decisions based on that information, and then you're sending it out to N1MM. So therefore, you can just click down the band map and just pick off your spots, right?
And another thing you could do is when you log the QSO on N1MM, that also goes out on the network, and the tool can capture that.
Yes.
And it can spot cleanly and properly.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Automatically with the right exchange, with the county list.
Right. Yeah.
You still have to be able to look for data in the good old cluster, packet cluster spot services, the telnet spots, because a lot of people will use that and spot them there.
Yes.
But you could have a better spotting service for people using your tool.
Well, I'm hopeful. I've got a slide on this. Hopeful that that I'm capturing some of the inputs, and we'll get into it. Jody says one thing AI code will probably do well is develop a filter for scoring matrix to give you a sorted list of highest mult targets. So that's a good idea. That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Except, I mean, I wish AI good luck trying to read all the rules for the different QSO parties.
Yeah.
But then AI is very good at copying open source project without giving credit. So they can go through PoLo's to my source code to see all the scoring analysis I've already made. We're screwed.
So yeah, I just had some examples of things that I wanted to track: rare states, fixed in-state operators. Like I said, that one guy that gets on in that rare county.
Yeah.
Mobiles, portables, in-state operators. And the rules change on what you're looking for based on if you're in-state or if you're out-of-state, right? So this weekend,
usually the all the bonus stations and the rules, the stations that are in-state are attractive for anybody who's in-state or out-of-state. The rare states are only useful for people who are in-state.
Right.
And there's also DX to consider there.
Right.
There's some contests in which DX is a single multiplier, so it doesn't really make a difference. But there's others where you can get a bunch of mults by work in DX.
Yeah.
And New England QSO Party is one of those. So that's going to be my weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're into state QSO parties, man, this weekend is a big weekend. It is a big contest weekend for 100 watts and a wire will do you good. Look for Nancy
One Yankee in the spots and work us.
All right, I put together a slide here before the contest input. So, what are the things that possibly the tracker or the QSO party helper is looking for? Again, I said plan county activation. So, if we had some type of standard output that all the state QSO parties would format and give us, all of the planned activation routes and all the other things that they know about, that would be awesome.
I love your optimism.
I know. Well, I lie awake in bed staring at the ceiling thinking of a perfect world, Sebastian. And then also out of that, you could do an export on, the route, all the mobiles and the portables and the rovers. The routes, man, how cool would it be if we could get some type of route info, But again, need a standard format for route planning.
Yeah.
You need to input the bonus stations. You need to input the 1x1s. Like, Missouri's got 13 1x1s that we coordinate with K, 0, and S. And if you spell Missouri and show me, you get certificates. And some of those are mobile stations. Some of them are fixed, So that was running through my head. But here is kind of what we've been talking about with all of the inputs. So, you've got the clusters, but you think that all the clusters replicate to one another. They don't. AR cluster, DX, AR cluster, CC cluster, and is it DX spider? They all replicate to one another. But then you've got these one-offs like DX summit.fi. That's a standalone cluster server. There's no replication there.
Yeah.
So, we could have a whole stream on just cluster servers on, do you log into a couple of cluster servers and put some internal rules to say, hey, I just want skimmer spots out of this one, or I just want digital spots out of that one, or you just let it go and let the program kind of just.
I think that'll depend on how good the program is at filtering and figuring out data.
Yeah.
That's not as clean in the cluster.
Yeah. And then we've got the QSO Party Hub. So this is kind of the standard QSO Party. So let's go to the 7-area QP, right? So this is kind of the standard guy. So I can go in here and do A0Z and 14200. And you do the drop down. Let's say I'm in, oh my gosh. Doing this on mobile is probably a pain in the butt, but where's New York? Am I missing New York? Wait a minute. Is New York not a part of...
New York's not part of New England.
Are you?
If that's what you're thinking.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, you're right. So it's just New England would be Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire.
Come on, you can do it, Kyle.
Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts.
That's right.
Got it.
Ding, 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 ding.
Okay, so let's just do Arizona. See, I like how these guys do it where they coordinate and it's all a...
This weekend is good because they've coordinated. They've made sure that, they use 5-letter county exchanges that include the state. It helped that the 7-call area and the New England QSO parties had those long exchanges already because they're multi-state QSO parties.
Right. Well, I think all QSO parties should do this. doesn't matter. Like if you decide to move your QSO party to another weekend, you don't have to worry about dupes. You don't have to worry about making another Cabrillo file. You could just submit one Cabrillo file to all of the QSO parties, and they could write rules to say, hey, only look for QSOs in the Cabrillo file that start with MO for Missouri, right?
I mean, your logger also has to be smart enough to realize that when somebody is spotted as AZ APH, if you're not in state for Arizona, if you're in state for New England, that only counts as Arizona for you.
Right.
So you need to look at you need to be able to tell the difference. You have to log it as AZ APH because you want to submit to the Arizona QSO party. But for the New England QSO party, it counts only as Arizona.
Right.
So your multiplier counting when you're participating in more than one QSO party at the same time gets a lot more complicated. And you want to make it better. And I'm saying this because I've just finished fixing PoLo for this weekend in particular. Is that the user of your program could also be roving and moving counties.
Yeah. There's hang on, let's get Jody's comment here. Just a thought on predictive algorithm for rovers. Call it the Settlers of Catan algorithm. You know where they are, and you know where they were.
N0HR says that he leads the team for the Iowa QSO party. Yeah, I mean, and if you make any changes, please send me an email at ham2k so that I can update our rules for Iowa. So preferably not a week before the contest.
Yeah. N0HR. So I lead the Missouri QSO party now. Why don't you send me an email? I'd love to bounce some ideas off of you as a neighboring state to Missouri. Because we did some crazy things this year that got some eye rolls, but I think it was good crazy.
Including from me.
I told Sebastian some of the things. Sebastian's just like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know. That's the great thing. I don't know what I'm doing.
I've read and parsed and analyzed the rules for all, I think it's 47 QSO parties. So I have strong opinions.
Well, now you're part of the CAC, so now you can.
And I'm part of the CAC. Yeah. No, it's yeah.
Anyway, I have, just for your knowledge, for everyone's knowledge out there, I did some crazy things to make mobiles more attractive. Guess what we had this year? We had 17 mobiles. 17. That's a record. And we activated every single county except for 2. And the only reason why we didn't activate those 2 counties out of 115 counties was the guy ran out of time at the end and couldn't get to the counties. So I think it paid off, but oh well. So we've got, some other inputs here. So this was the QSO party page, and I actually skimmed this in Node-RED. So I've got the Node-RED code, and I put it into AI, and it helped me clean it up a bit. But I skim this page for Missouri QSO party, and I feed that into Node-RED. I have built a lot of this stuff that you are seeing in Node-RED. It is just an absolute mess, though, and I think it could be better.
I think that the best starting point would be to use the QSO party hub.
Yes.
As your starting point to make sure that you also send automatic spots to the QSO Party Hub. One of the problems with that, the QSO Party Hub, is that N1MM doesn't spot to it.
Right.
So building a tool that presents a better view, that puts those spots into N1MM as if they came from a cluster.
Yes.
And spots from N1MM, that tool, or that's it. That's you know what? That's it. Stop the stream. We're done. That's a tool. That's where you start. Then the next year you can add more stuff. But the core tool is letting you connect the QSO Party Hub into regular loggers that don't know about it, and send spots from regular loggers to the QSO Party Hub, which are things that Ham2K PoLo already does, but I'm biased, so don't listen to me.
Well, I was going to say, right, I think what we're really wanting to create with this is to create a utility that does effectively what Kyle did with the Node Red, and make it more intelligent.
But, there's a lot of state QSO parties that self-spotting is allowed, but
most of them do, but yes.
But yeah, I would love to, what is that, Control S in N1MM to send the spot of your last Q, the last contact, the last Q made.
Yep. There's the 8 parties don't allow self-spotting.
Okay, got it.
Florida is Florida, Ohio are the big ones, but also Maryland, Mississippi, North Dakota, the Canadian Prairie, and British Columbia.
Got it.
But self-spotting is different from auto spotting as that's a different thing.
Right. I mean, you could almost go as far to say that, this program that, potentially could run in the cloud could literally, I mean, granted, you might be a little dangerous here, but if it has all of the information about where you're at through APRS tracking, through other means, maybe you even put together an SMS, short code that you can send, your information to, it would automatically just go ahead and spot you on all of the things automatically. I mean, there's one of the guys in Missouri QSO party. He's like, I don't have any data out here, but I can get an SMS message out. Can I SMS you? Can I text you, and you spot me on the spotting page here? And I said, yeah, of course. Send me a text so I know where you're at, and I will go ahead and spot you on this QSO Party Hub.
You need to build sota mat.
Yes, you need to build sota mat for a QSO party, and then that just gathers. You just put your call sign, your frequency, by the frequency it automatically maybe knows the mode, and then you just put your county identifier, and it just spots everywhere.
Yeah, and again, CW it's easy. That's the thing, because if skimmers can capture the data already and report it. So CW, it's not the problem. It's phone. Phone is where we fall short. Plus the CW, it's also the data is in the skimmers and the packet clusters, but it's not clean.
Yeah.
You could grab it from the packet clusters and post it to the QSO Party Hub.
Yeah, it would still be good. Nice to see like some data deduplication. So if the APRS tracker is saying the station is in, Sullivan County, and their exchange that they're sending is for some other county, basically doing some deduplication where you have some rules in place to say, go report them at whatever they're sending,
Yeah.
Because I think really that was really one of our challenges was just were the spots that were showing up in N1MM for the different counties accurate, at that time, right?
Yeah.
And so then you end up you waste time. You click on a spot, well, they're not actually in that county. You've already worked them. It's inefficient.
Well, yeah. Good point, Steve, because there were many times where I messaged you through N1MM and said, hey, go get, I see, K0H spotted. And then you came back, was like, already got him, and I'm like, oh, but it comes back to Sebastian's point of it would be nice to know, if that person spots again, that you already have that county versus like, okay, I just want to know whenever a station goes into a new county, because then the program can figure out, hey, that station is still in that county. It hasn't changed yet, right?
Yeah, I don't think N1MM does a great job with updating the status in the bandmap because the bandmap, I don't, maybe I'm wrong about this. I don't think the bandmap is aware of, it was aware of dupes, but not like when you're dealing with state QSO parties where everybody, you log them as a dupe, just a different county. I don't think it has that kind of awareness.
I mean, if it's spotted as KI2D/SUL, and then it's spotted as KI2D/DEL, then those are two different spots and it's unique. And most of the contest loggers can tell that they can use that information. Yeah, it's just that the clusters don't have the county. For phone in particular, don't usually have that.
True, right. But Steve, I think that you had a problem. Tell me if this is true, right? I was doing that in Node Red where I was rewriting the spot and I was putting /STL for St. Louis on a spot that came in to my program and I sent it to N1MM, right? So then you would click on it, or maybe you didn't click on it. I don't know if you were using the bandmap on your side, but whenever I was running CW while you were gone or took a break, I was clicking on those spots and then it puts the /STL in the call sign field. Whenever I would call that station, and I was using, if I was not using, I was calling Whiskey Zero Whiskey. But if you hit the wrong button or whatnot, or you needed to call that station, it would send everything that's in that entry field, which you don't want. You just wanted to, everything before the / or I was removing all of the stuff in the /. It was another thing that I had to do in N1MM. I had to remove the / in the county before I logged it. And that's another thing you got to do, So I almost wish that the spot would put it, it would identify it as a unique spot, but it wouldn't bring the county information into the entry field.
Yeah, because I was removing the county from the field because I wasn't sure if when you created the Cabrillo file at the end if that would matter or not. Right?
I went in and I removed all of the county /. So I exported the Cabrillo file, and then I went and sanitized it and removed all the crap in it.
But yeah, that may have been what was also kind of throwing off the colors in the bandmap. Was some spots had the / county, some spots didn't. Whether or not they were, when they were logged with with the / with like there were some variables there, I think, that were adding some complexity in this case. That a solution that we're talking about where everything is feeding into this utility that is doing sanitation before it puts it back out to the cluster feed that N1MM would read from. So you have that sanitation, that data normalization process happen first. I think that's the key.
Ooh, I like that word, data normalization.
Here's the thought for you about QSO parties and the kind of software you write for them, and whatever, because contest loggers already have a lot of features built in. For example, they would use QRZ.com data to figure out the state for somebody and tell you if that state is a multiplier in whatever contest you're doing, and like highlight that state. It's just that when it gets down to counties and the QSO parties, the main problem is that a successful QSO party has 500, 700 entries.
Right.
That's it. There's QSO parties out there that have 300 entries, and I love them for existing. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but people writing software want to cater to the largest audience possible. You don't want to spend 6 months building a tool that's only going to be used by 300 people, not 300, by 20 people, because the 300 people don't, all of them will use your tool.
Right.
And so you need to build a tool that works for all QSO parties and not just one.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. This was,
and here's where, like, as somebody, and wink, wink for you and N0HR is like, if you are a QSO party organizer, trying to maintain some level of standardization makes it easier for software developers to build tools for your QSO party. Like the most people will go and do your QSO party because it's fun, not because it's different from the other QSO party.
Yeah, good point.
It's so, like, when I see the QSO party that has a weird multiplier rule that's different per band or something like that, it's like, now I need to spend 5 days writing code for this one QSO party that has only 300 people. And of those 300, only 5 are users of my app. So it's like I leave it aside.
Yeah. Well, I went down that road because we put some crazy rules in this year, and all of, I got the eye roll from you, which I expected, but then I also got the eye roll from N1MM and N3FJP, which the majority of, and they're just like, no, sorry, we're not gonna budge. But you can calculate all of that stuff after somebody submits the Cabrillo file.
So some of it you do it afterwards. Yep. But what it means is build your rules in a way that it doesn't break the logging app, or that the logging app can provide a basic approximation to the score, and the logging app can help you figure out multipliers you have worked and you haven't.
Right. Yeah. It's not going to do. Yeah, I envision this thing not doing anything with scoring or helping you.
Right. Just counties. Just keep track of counties.
Exactly. It's just trying to keep
multipliers.
Track, right. Multipliers. Yep. It's trying to keep track of multipliers.
Yeah.
And it doesn't care if you're, and my goal would be, doesn't care if you're participating in a New England QSO party or if you're in,
right,
Arizona. You just click literally whenever the program pops up. High level thinking is the program boots up, it loads, it asks you, hey, what QSO party are you working? And you literally go to a checkbox and you click the ones that you're going to work this weekend.
And
it automatically.
Are you in state for one of them?
Exactly. Are you in state? Are you out of state? And then it loads different rules based on if you're in state or out of state.
Yeah.
Now, what I would love to do, there might be some manual input on the alpha, the beta, the delta versions where you need to go in and you need to put in, like, what rovers are participating in that state, right? Because it's not going to know. But then I think after some period, it learns, through reporting back from N1MM, who you're working. If you work a station more than a couple of times, the program should be smart enough to be like, hey, that's a rover. I should probably start tracking that guy.
Yeah.
Here's some other stuff that I thought about. So, the POTA website, if you pull all of that JSON data out, it tells you what state that POTA's in.
Yeah.
So there might be some dude that is, or some gal. I keep on saying dude. Sorry, girls. Sorry, women. That is doing a POTA in South Dakota or Hawaii or Alaska. And you could go out there and contact that person for that multiplier,
And I mean, I'm surprised. Don't tell anybody, but the biggest secret on QSO party high scoring is go do your QSO party at a POTA location.
Yep.
It doubles your score if you do it right, because you get a lot of people are chasing POTA all day long and they don't even know what a QSO party is.
Right.
But those contacts count for the QSO party.
Now, what you might have to do, here's the gotcha that you kind of have to you have to figure out what your QSO party rules say, but in the spirit, what I do, I've been out at Illinois QSO party, Missouri QSO party, and a POTA, and I call CQ POTA, and I might throw in a CQ Missouri QSO party in there too. But after that, I give the exchange. I also say, hey, I'm in Calhoun County for Missouri QSO party. If you're
have to give, I do it the other way. I spot myself. I'm operating from a park. I spot myself in the POTA website. And I call CQ New York QSO party, CQ New York QSO party. Every 5 or 6 CQs I will say, and also CQ parks on the air.
Yeah, right.
And my exchange is always the counties. You do have to give out your counties on every contact.
Yeah.
POTA doesn't care about your exchange, so you can give them whatever you want. The QSO party requires you to give out your counties.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yep.
Plus, you also need to be ready. Sometimes in the middle of a QSO party, you get a park-to-park contact that's deep in the noise, and they want to exchange their POTA references. You have to acknowledge and accept that, and that might take you 30 seconds or a minute that you're giving your 4-digit park number to this guy that can't barely copy it, and you have to repeat it until you get that contact. That's what you're signing up for when you spot yourself in the POTA website.
Yep.
But you get a bunch of people who will call you. And that also means that the POTA website is a good source of local activations, and you can look at the park references and figure out which parks are in state for the QSO party you're interested in, or in other states that you need as multipliers.
Yep.
You could even use the POTA database to guess the county for the park based on latitude and longitude and the shape files for the county. So you could get the county for a given park, at least in most cases.
Yeah. Another data point is this APRS tracker. So if you're a mobile, I encourage everyone, if you're a mobile for a state QSO party, these are for all of the states. Actually, my friend Jeff, who is here in St. Louis, he actually designed this page, and we use this extensively. Now you can. So let me go get my phone. Where's my phone?
I can.
So you can use your phone as a tracker, and I'm going to actually demonstrate it right here. So if I bring up APRS Droid, let's see, APRS Droid, and I say send position, it's going to, and then you also have to have MOQP in the message. Now you don't have to have a frequency, but you have to put the MOQP.
Yeah.
And then
hopefully, and if only there were an app that would put those things in your APRS report for you and do it automatically when you're logging the Missouri QSO party.
Does PoLo do that automatically?
It does.
Let me see. Am I?
I mean, the main thing to understand is that the PoLo feature set is developed is a very selfish thing. Like, I wanted to get all the spotting possibilities for my entry in the New York QSO party. So I added support for QSO party APRS tracker, for QSO party hub, for pota, for all of those. It will spot you automatically. But yeah, that's what it does. You put yourself in the map. It reports you as being in the St. Louis County, and it figures out the county from your location. You don't need to tell it your county.
Yep. So I just popped up here. I was Whiskey Zero Whiskey. Steve and I were Whiskey Zero Whiskey. And it just reported my position. Please don't come rob my house, but that's where I live. So you can see, if you're a mobile, this would be awesome. And this has the county code, right? So if you're tracking and you go over into a new county, it's going to actually track you here. Yeah. And that's another data point.
N0HR wants something like this for the Iowa QSO party.
Well, you have this.
You have it. You don't need, or at least just send him an email if it's not already available. But
here it is.
Yeah. Ta-da!
Hang on.
The only problem they have is on a weekend like this weekend, because they built the system around individual states. So there's no tracker for the New England QSO party or for the 7 area QSO party.
Oh, right.
Trackers for individual states.
Right.
So it's a bit messy for rovers that have plans that cross state boundaries.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, they need to combine some stuff, right?
Yeah. And I suppose they'll build it for next year, but this year they didn't have support for that.
Yeah.
It's just
another endpoint, a data point, is the county hunter spotting. I saw a couple of counties from Missouri on this guy. And keep in mind, these clusters, they're just telnet clusters, right? And they've got a standard format. So you can literally scrape all of that information off and feed it wherever you need to feed it.
No, the county hunters is a telnet cluster.
It is,
yes. The QSO party hub, pota, and APRS are not regular clusters.
Correct, yeah.
They have their own APIs and their own systems.
Well, the QSO party hub here, let's go to 7 area. I literally, what is it, F11 here? Oh, no, F12. I literally drilled down into the source here, or maybe it's the elements, yeah. You know?
Yep. You can get their API and figure out how to get.
Yep.
And how to post.
So I used AI on some of this, but a lot of it was just trial and error through Node-RED, through HTTP GET commands to get all that information. And then, it spews it all out. I put it into array, and then I kept that array in memory, and I said, hey, if this array changes, go through the array and see if anything is new, and if anything is new, then pop it off and send it to me. Let's see, we're getting up onto an hour here. And then, yeah, I don't know if any other QSO parties have state-specific spotting, if they've made a homegrown spotting page, and then you've got these old farts that they spot on the Facebook, their state QSO party Facebook page. That really it's great. I love it. It's the best part.
Yeah.
That's the best spotting ever. You know?
Yeah.
So anyway, I've got this flow that we won't get to, but yeah, we captured some good ideas here. I mean, am I being crazy? Is this something that can be done, or am I just blowing smoke into the wind here?
No, and I think that the core is what I was telling you earlier, is like make it so that it's kind of like a bridge between N1MM, DXlog, any of the tools that use telnet clusters, and act as a telnet cluster towards the logger to provide them better spot information than what they get from a cluster right now, and also take the activity from the logger and automatically spot in the right formats, in the right places.
Yeah. But Sebastian, you don't think, and Steve, do you think this also, that what about taking the information from N1MM that you have already, contacted these counties, and then bringing that back into the spotting, or I'm sorry, the program, so it has that data point to say, oh, you don't need St. Louis County anymore, and there's 50 other people that are spotting as St. Louis County. Maybe that is a data point to say that is a very low, that's low hanging fruit.
Absolutely, right. This is really, it's like a data broker, that is taking in the different data sources, either externally or from your logging software, whatever that is, and again taking that and it's not quite like an ETL job, but that's what I was talking about, like the concept of taking that data and processing it. Maybe you're aggregating spots. It's kind of acting as like a collector.
Right.
All these different data sources.
What is an ETL? That's a new term for me.
Extract, transform, and load. So like the idea is like, extracting data from multiple sources, transforming that data, and then loading that into a separate database. That's not exactly what we're doing here, but
Gotcha.
It's just, I'm just thinking in terms of the data handling, data processing aspect.
Got it. Yeah, I guess that's something that I'm going to have to learn or get a crash course. If anybody knows anything about, what this is called, about taking all that data. I think that, getting the data into a database and putting it all in one location, I think I'm good with that because I've done that already with my Node-RED stuff. What I have trouble with, and I just don't know because I don't live in this world, is how do you marry up all of this data? Like, how do you get all of those data points to tell a story, to marry up and say, hey, and I guess it's just a bunch of logic, right? On the back end to say, hey, this guy's a mobile. Do you have this new county that this mobile just ran into? Oh, you don't. Okay, we need to send an alert out. Oh, you just logged that county that I just sent you alert out, or a spot for. Oh, now I need to mark it in the database as you don't need that county anymore. Rinse and repeat, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, this is what I work with, right, on a daily basis. It's a little bit different. I work with telemetry that's coming from infrastructure and like application telemetry. So it's logs, metrics, trace data, profile data, that kind of stuff. But it all goes into the back end, and then there's various different processes that can happen, whether that's AI or manual processes that happen on that data to either alert on it or visualize it, that kind of stuff. So like this is what I do, but it's just a little different context. But yeah, it's a similar concept.
Yeah.
One thing that, because essentially, right, you'll have a data broker, you'll have webhooks or whatever's hooking in to write data to that broker, either from the external sources or from your logging software. I mean, and so obviously, I mean, Sebastian's very familiar with this stuff as well because what he does with PoLo. But it's all, I think it's all very doable. The question is going to be, how complex do you want to get, and then how fast does it have to perform, right? So when you're choosing what database solution to use,
This,
that's
for QSO parties, this doesn't have to be a cloud scale solution. You're going to have 500 people using it on a given weekend.
Right.
If you're very successful, you're going to have 1,000 people using it on a given weekend. You can run 1,000 whatever connections this is out of a Raspberry Pi. That's doable.
Yeah. Okay.
If you were to do like a bigger contest with tens of thousands of people, and that's a different proposition. But for QSO parties, you can start with something that doesn't need to super scale.
Right.
You can start with
Yeah.
a simpler implementation.
well,
Yeah.
another question too, right? Is in theory, everybody would want to have their own unique database, right? Because you're not, the data sources would be the same, but then the processing, like what mults do you need, what based on what state you're at, everyone's going to have like their own copy of that data. Now, whether or not that is stored locally or it's like a SaaS solution, and then that gets into whether or not you want to try to monetize this, because obviously if you're trying to do it as a SaaS solution, then somebody's got to pay for it.
Right. No, this would be like a pet project. I'd work on it. I'd open a stream, say that I'm going to work for 2 hours on this project, get input from the peanut gallery here. People would be like, hey, have you thought about this? And oh, no, I haven't. And just kind of go through a series of just me working through being a non-programmer, trying to program something that I have this envision, and putting it on GitHub. And if you wanted to download it and use it.
Yeah, I'm not a developer either. I'm mostly on the infrastructure backend side. So
yeah. It's more of a learning experience for me. Granted, I'm not going to have a lot of time this summer, but I'd like to do something that I learn, maybe another language, or get better at something that I've got a base at. And I think that this would be a good project for me to tackle. And then, start small, say, all right, in the next couple of weeks, we're going to work about getting all these data sources into a database and just verify that they're being logged and verifying the data. And then, in the next couple of months, we're going to take a look at, writing the first logic about mirroring up. But also the problem that I also have is sometimes you need real data. And granted, there is a QSO party going on almost every single weekend. But if you're needing to change a bunch of parameters, and this is where my lack of knowledge comes in on using variables and whatnot, that sometimes it's going to get a little hairy because I need real data in real time, right? But yep. I don't know if I have the brain power to be like, oh, yeah, your SQL statement just needs to be changed to this, and it can, accept all of this other data. I'm just like, I just, tried to figure that out for the last day and a half, and you just said something, I saw something in the chat, and they're just like, oh, this is easy. And I'm like, well, it might be easy for you, but it's not easy for me.
And again, you can only test it during 1 or 2 days of the weekend if there's a QSO party going on.
Right.
Yeah.
So N0 HR's got a point. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a subscription to Claude, and I think I'm going to use Claude Code for some of this. What is that?
You can get far. You can get far with that.
Yeah. I mean, in early days of my Node-RED, I used to use ChatGPT, and granted, it pumped out some crap, but it gave me a base. Like, I didn't know what I needed to do, and I would just explain what I'm trying to do in ChatGPT, and it would say, "Oh, it sounds like you're trying to parse an array. Let me show you some examples." And I'm like, "Oh, this is exactly what I need." Yes.
Yeah.
But I had no idea what it was called that, you know? All right, guys. I think we've had enough fun. Vibe coding. Yeah, someone's going to have to explain to me what vibe coding is. I thought vibe coding was just like putting your crap into ChatGPT and it putting something out.
It's you code by giving the vibes of what you want the thing to be.
Gotcha. All right. I thought it was an actual programming language. That's what I thought.
No. Yeah, no. It's vibe coding is using an LLM to write the code for you.
Gotcha. Jody with the $7 super chat for the Claude Fund. Thank you, Jody. Appreciate it. Jody, are you going to be at Hamvention? I think I saw you last year at Hamvention. I think I saw you at the flagpole. You have to tell me if you're going to be at Hamvention again. Steve, you're going to Hamvention?
I'll be there.
Sebastian, you going to Hamvention?
I'll be there. I have to figure out where I'm going to stay, though.
Yeah, you might want to get that nailed down pretty quick. Sebastian's pulling our leg. Sebastian's staying with myself and Josh and some other people. Oh, Steve, thank you, buddy. 1 month of Claude Pro on him. Thank you,
There you
Steve.
Go. Now you
Appreciate
have no
it.
excuses.
I'm meeting my cousin on Sunday for some beers, and he is big on Claude Pro, and he's already downloaded and got it all working. So he's going to give me the ins and outs on how to get it up and running and whatnot. So I might have to take a little bit of time from the QSO party this weekend to learn about Claude Pro, but I think it'll be worth it.
One thing to consider in this particular project is that it might be better if you don't do it using Node-RED.
Okay.
And make it like a standalone app.
Got it. Yeah, that's
and let Cloud Code figure out the details of how to do like a standalone app in Rust or something like that has a user interface.
Okay.
It might be able to figure it out better than trying to work through Node-RED.
Yeah, that was another thing that I couldn't. I was going to ask that. We kind of ran out of time, but I'm not even sure how I even start that. I'll need to do some research on my experience in college. I'm dating myself, on building applications that had a GUI interface was literally Visual Basic.
No, but I mean, there's ways of building some nice UIs using Rust or using something like that Cloud Code might be good at managing. The big thing is that with Node-RED, there's so many steps between Cloud Code updating a file and being able to see how that runs, that Cloud Code cannot iterate. It cannot do that running itself and cannot see if what it did worked. So that will slow you down.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
And ask it, like, I want to build a tool that connects through Telnet with this app, through like web APIs to these other apps, and has a nice dashboard interface. What can I use? And see what it says.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. I really didn't want to use Node-RED because Node-RED is good for, input, output, quick things, control surfaces. You should see my Node-RED program that I built some of this on. Oh my God, it is absolutely disgusting, but it works. But I'd like to get it to a point where it looks pretty, Yeah.
I spent 2 days trying to fight Claude into writing a component for Node-RED for rotator controls, and it failed miserably.
Yeah.
That might have informed my opinion on the matter that I just stated earlier.
Yeah.
But it's like it's
well, you know that there's rotator flows already out there.
Oh no, I have my own. It's just
Okay.
I want to build a component that does the maps for you, that does a nice UI for you.
Oh, so it builds the maps versus you
Yep.
go in and have to build the initial map and yeah.
And that lets you zoom into the map and things like that. But it kind of like got stuck.
Dave Plummer, Dave's Garage Channel. Is that the guy that used to work at Microsoft and now he's retired and he does videos? Has some demos on using LLM against each other to both write and test troubleshoot code. I don't know what LLMs are.
Large language models.
Okay.
Claude is an LLM.
Okay, gotcha.
ChatGPT is an LLM. It's kind of like the generic name for.
Then he just comes back to harvest the results after many iterations. Yes, he is. He wrote Task Manager. Yeah. I've seen his videos before. He did a whole series on what was the bug that took down all the Windows machines?
Which one?
Which one?
When?
More recent.
It was like called like Code Defender or Bit Defender or something, and it like
yeah.
What was it, Steve? CrowdStrike, and he did a whole bunch of videos on CrowdStrike, and I watched it. Oh, he grew up blocks from him. Wow, that's cool. Do you have GPUs hanging around in that hardware? Oh, I do. Yeah, I do. I was telling Steve before the stream. Whenever I worked at Anheuser-Busch, they would like throw servers out into the dumpster after they wiped the hard drive, and I was just like, I will take a few of those, and I backed my truck up, and they like threw 4 Dell servers, 36-inch servers into my truck, and they're setting now. I also have a network cabinet in my basement. they're racked in the network cabinet, so I do have some GPUs sitting out there, but oh yeah, they threw many. Steve, we would get 4 cases of beer a month. You know how many? Do you know how hard it is to drink 4 cases of beer a month? It's tough, but you learn who your friends are real fast because they come over and they'll help you down it. But I take that back. You find out who will be your friend very easily. So, all right. Anything else, guys, that you want to throw out there?
No more rabbit holes.
Yeah, no more rabbit holes. I gotta go. I got some ice cream to be eaten because I'm old. So
this has been great. I'm gonna go see if I can get PoLo working on an Android simulator on my Linux box.
It's not. Some people have made it happen, but yeah. Good luck.
Good luck. All right.
I'm working on a freaking desktop version that will run on Linux, but I don't know. One of these days. I
am waiting patiently. I mean, I know that I'm not on the beta team. I don't want to be on the beta team. I want to be on
there's no beta or alpha of this just yet. So don't hold your breath or your ice cream waiting for the PoLo desktop just yet.
What I'm waiting for another monthly update on YouTube on PoLo.
Yeah, no, man. I'm gonna sign off of this because this is going down a rabbit hole I don't enjoy. I need to get back on the YouTube and have the updates. I need to release the May update of PoLo that I've been working on. I need to yeah.
All right, no more rabbit hole. I'm going to hit the end stream button. If you guys want to stay on for a bit, we'll chat. But yeah, thanks, guys, for hanging out. Thanks for the ideas. I might make this a series where I come back on and make a fool of myself while I write this. So
everybody on the chat.
All right, guys. Thanks.